Hey, good morning. It's Tony Turbyville with Platinum Benefit Services, and I owe everybody an apology for it being quite some time, several weeks since I've put up a video. I've got lots of excuses. Life happens, a little vacation in there, but at the end of the day, I haven't been as diligent about this as I should be. So please accept my apologies and say hi, good morning to my partner Reagan. You might have met him in some other videos. He goes most places with me. He's an Australian Shepherd. He's about 10 now, but he is just a great dog. He's our office dog. My staff loves him, and he just likes to go, so I hope you don't mind him being in some of these videos. But today, I do have people that when they call me, I can tell they're a little bit hesitant. They're afraid that they're going to be, pushed into something or sold something. That's not the way I operate. So let's talk about what's going to happen if you decide that you want to pick up the phone and call me. Well, what's going to happen is I'm just going to answer what question you have. As long as it doesn't get into legal advice, I can't give you legal advice, but I can tell you how things apply to Medicaid and what would interfere with an application getting approved and what wouldn't interfere with an application getting approved. I can talk to you about how things might be able to be rearranged and get approved. What I can't do is tell you whether you should or should not do anything, because that would get into legal advice. And I'm not a licensed attorney, so therefore I don't do that. However, most people are pretty educated, and you can make some of your own basic decisions. And ultimately, before you do any Medicaid planning, you're going to have an attorney involved. So people say, well, wait a minute. Why don't I just go hire an attorney directly to begin with? And you absolutely can do that. But there's a few videos that I have up that will help you understand why, in my opinion, and I'm biased, that I don't think that's the best way to do it. But here's the biggest reason. There's a lot of attorneys that say they know Medicaid planning. And most of them know some, a little bit, right? But they take the easy way out, many of them, and that can be very tax expensive. And so how do you know what attorney really knows what's going on? Let me give you a quick story. I got a call yesterday from an attorney that we work with pretty regularly, who we process their applications for them, even when the client comes to them first, because they don't want to mess with it. And they know that we can help them be more effective with their clients. And so they had a client come in, and it was a pretty simple, pretty straightforward case, nothing overly complicated. And this client went to see another attorney who, professed to be an elder law / Medicaid planning attorney. And he was going to, put a house in this special trust, and he was going to do all this complicated stuff that just wasn't necessary for this particular family. And so when we explained, the attorney and I, how the process works and what could be done in his particular situation, we found a much better solution, much more simple, much more cost effective. And, had he not sought out a second opinion, he would have been in all kinds of complicated stuff, and part of it wouldn't have even worked. So the reason that you come to somebody like me is, number one, I've done over 10,000 of these applications, and we have seen just about everything, and we can navigate just about any situation and get it through the system. Number two, when we refer you to an attorney, you can bet it's an attorney that knows what they're doing. They know what we do. We know what they do. We all work well together, and you're going to get the best possible outcome, in my biased opinion, by coming to somebody like me. So what happens when you come to somebody like me? As I said, I'm going to answer your question. If you have additional questions, or it leads to another question, I'm going to answer those questions as well. If I have time and you have time and you want to go right into a strategy session, I'll be happy to do that. If we don't have time, one or the other of us, or both, then I'll schedule a strategy session with you. Now, what's a strategy session? A strategy session is just where I get into the weeds of what's going on in your situation? Is it your mom? Is it your dad? Is it your husband, your wife, your uncle, or your power of attorney for a friend? What's your circumstance? What kind of assets are involved? Are they investment assets, bank assets, IRAs, all of the above? Is there real estate involved? Is there multiple vehicles? Has there been any gifting? Is there life insurance? Is there savings bonds? Are there lots in Arizona? Loans, annuities, all the different types of assets that people tend to acquire over their life. I'm going to find out about those. Then I'm going to talk to you about the kinds of things that I could get approved if you decided to do them. Now, that does not mean I'm going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. As I said earlier, that is for an attorney, but I am going to tell you what I can get through the system, and then you can talk to an attorney about which things I can get through the system that makes sense to you. Now, another thing is people think, hey, if I have to have you and an attorney, it's going to be a lot more expensive. That simply is not the case at all. In fact, ultimately, from a value standpoint, it's probably going to be much cheaper, because we're going to, just like the gentleman I told you about who was going to have all this complicated trust stuff done, and it was going to be much more expensive than what it was for me and the attorney. We were very effective. We're going to get that case done and done quickly, and it's going to save the client a lot of money. So, if you would like to call me, I'm just here to educate you. If I educate you enough, you're going to make the decision that's right for your family. And that may be, hey, I'm not doing anything. It may be I'm just going to pay the bill. It may be that, I'm educated now in case it happens later. It may be, hey, I need some help right now and I would like you to help me. Any of those outcomes are okay. Again, my job is to educate you so you can make the decision that's right for your family, whatever that decision is. So this was a little bit lengthy. I was a little chatty. I hope you don't mind. I try to keep these around 5 to 6 minutes. We're at about 7. But if you'd like to ask me any questions, it's 863-838-5802 directly to my cell. That way you don't have to navigate switchboards and all that kind of stuff. If I cannot take your call, I'm with a client or something else is going on, please leave a message. I'm very good at returning my messages. So I think that does it. Thanks for your time.